giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom Newsleaders.
And welcome back to our Newsleaders show. We're going to talk about youth election program. This was a new thing that happened back in April, first time for this area. And here's the man who can tell us all about it, Taylor Burks. Welcome to Newsleaders, Taylor.
Great to be here, James.
Good to have you here. County clerk with Boone County.
That's correct.
Right?
Yep.
Is this whole thing kind of like your idea, or you handled the whole thing yourself?
Yeah, so it all falls under the county clerk's office. This is a program that's authorized under state statute, but we've not really done it in Boone County before. So looking at our local election, we thought, why not try it during this slower period when we can kick this program off.
Okay, so tell me about the program and how it all came about.
Yeah, we have high school students who come into our polling places on election day. So a few months beforehand, we went around to the high schools and talked to students at student groups or assemblies, and then these students are nominated by their principals, and we choose one for every polling place in the county.
And what did the student do at the polling place?
Yep, they work just like a regular poll worker.
That's got to be so fun.
Yep, they get to see the ins and outs of election day, working alongside the more experienced poll workers to see the whole process from 5 a.m. to after the polls close.
They're there the whole time?
They're there the whole time.
Amazing. Can you imagine doing that when you... I couldn't imagine doing that in high school.
Yeah, a few of the parents had done it in other counties, and so I think there was a lot of interest and excitement for maybe older generations that have seen it in other places.
And how many were together for this?
We had 40 polling places. We had 3 students who had to drop out for various reasons, so we ended up at 37 by the end of election day. Mm-hmm.
Did y'all get together then afterwards and talk about the experience, or is that coming?
Yeah, it's coming. So after every election, what I do is get our election trainers and this group of students and say, hey, what went well? What could we do better for next time? And then we also have an election internship that we're offering for 2 students. So these students have applied and said, hey, I'd like to do a more in-depth internship through the summer as we prepare for the fall elections.
Wow, yeah. Changing lives as we speak, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
This is really interesting.
Right.
Did the students have any training before this happened?
They went through the exact same training that we put our regular poll workers through. Okay. So the workers that have done this for years and years, we send them through a 2-hour training before each election. We had our student workers do the same thing. So they saw they could now be regular election workers once they reach 18 and are registered to vote. And we actually have 2 that have signed up to be regular election workers once they hit the 18-year mark.
Fun.
Yeah.
Did you say they have to go through a 2-hour each time there's an election?
Yep, every
election. Even
election.
if you've done it before?
Even if you've done it before, the law changes. We want to make sure that our judges are aware of any changes that come up. But these are also election workers that do this 3 times a year, and so we want to refresh everything so that each voting experience for our voters is as good as it can be on election day.
So what's your assessment of the whole thing? Come off well?
Yeah, I think it went well. A lot of my job is taking what Wendy Noren did as my predecessor and not messing it up, making improvements where I can, but really safeguarding the process that Boone County is known for having here.
And as far as the youth election program, it'll be done again, I guess?
Oh yeah, we'll do it every year. It's a little bit of work, but we do it in the April elections because we want our high school students to see that local elections are important. I think a lot of young people get really sucked into presidential elections or big statewide elections.
Yeah, a lot of people do too.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And so we see drop-off in turnout in April elections. So my hope is by having high school students join us every April election when we have municipal elections, that we can kind of raise the visibility, raise engagement among our young people in those elections.
That sounds important.
Yeah, it is important. What I tell people is a third of our taxes, there's studies that show a third of our taxes are determined at the local level. And so if we only have 10% of people participating at the local level, that's very few people making decisions for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So there's someone out there watching who's going to be in high school next year and they just think this is a great idea. Mm-hmm. Can they kind of apply early, so to speak? Or?
Nope, the application process actually starts with the high school principals. So we give the forms to the principals or teachers that lead the student groups, maybe political groups or student government groups. We give them those forms, and the principals have to nominate a student first.
Okay, so you might want to talk to your principal.
Yep, absolutely. Talk to every principal is aware of this program now, and we'll be back after November election as we prepare for the April election to remind students that this is an opportunity. New students coming into high school know that this is available, and get the ball rolling again next year.
So we need to have you back then before next April.
Absolutely.
And talk about the current process and how it's going.
Yep, the deadline is normally in February for us to receive these nominations. So that's the deadline for students to submit to their principals and then get it to us. So before April is when we need to do that.
Wonderful. The website showmeboone.com/clerk 886-4295 for more information.
Yep.
Taylor, thanks.
Yep.
I look forward to seeing you next year.
Absolutely.
Great idea. Thank you
Thanks.
for sharing it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back after this.